Well, good morning everybody and welcome to a Sunday morning show from Cayman Golf. Haven't been out to Cayman for some time, but I'm continuously working on my short game, continuously thinking about my short game, and there's no better place to come to focus on your short game than Cayman Golf. It's full of par threes, it's 18 holes, but the trees, as you can see from my first couple of shots there, the trees are thick. So we're going to have a few holes, we're going to have a little catch up, so put the kettle on and let's see how my week has been going and see what we've got coming up on the channel. Now there is one thing you're definitely going to spot as we make our way around this golf course today, and that is the putter that I'm having a little play with. Which we're going to use to see if we can hold that birdie putt. Now I'd like to think that actually I'm a pretty good putter, and for those of you that watch a lot of the vlogs, you'll see that I do hold my fair share of certainly long putts out on the golf course. Yes. Hey. However, recently I've been experimenting with a few different types of putters. One of which was the recent video I did on the arm lock putter by Golf Punk, and the difference with that arm lock putter is that it's so different, isn't it? It's very upright, it's very much a Bryson DeChambeau kind of, well, inspired style of putting using the arm. I think it's a bit like cheating really, but makes it a lot easier to be able to keep control of the actual putter head. And then today, we're testing out a putter that I really didn't think I would like, and it's this, well, zero torque kind of putter that we've got, which is a square to square putter by Odyssey. It's the newest lineup that they've just released, and as soon as I saw it out on Instagram, I thought I want to test that because I don't have the contacts at Lab to, let's say, get a Lab putter. I know a few of the guys out there have got Lab putters and have got access to Lab, but I don't have any contacts, so I wasn't able to, let's say, reach out to Lab and start doing some putters around the Lab putters, even though I have made fun of my brother using it. And I've probably made fun of my brother using it more because he constantly changes putters. He constantly is focusing on something that, I don't know, maybe he's focusing on equipment too much, and I want him to focus more on his technique a little bit more and get some feel back into his putting. However, the Odyssey square to square, now this range has had a few different heads previously. I didn't particularly like those heads, so I wasn't ever going to, let's say, put it in the bag. But when this Max 1 putter came out, I thought I just wouldn't mind testing that. So I contacted the people I know at Odyssey, and they sent me one through. Now this one, it's got the PVD blue finish on it. Really, well, it looks more black in up close and personal. You get a bit more of a blue effect, but it looks more black if you look at it in a picture. But I thought, actually, that's quite striking. I'll give it a go. And I ordered the black one as opposed to the white kind of, the white top on them that they offer as well. And I just wanted to put it to the test. I wanted to put the technology to the test on the golf course and see how it feels. And I've got to say, first impressions, well, I've used it twice, and I've holed both the putts that I've used it with, because this is the first time I've put it out onto the golf course. So interesting. I'd like to hear down in the comments though, are you testing out these style of putters, which is basically zero torque, which means that putter will roll around and it will follow the path of your putter. It won't, let's say square to the target. It will follow the path as you go back and go through. So I'd like to hear down in the comments, are you testing anything like this out? Does it interest you to test anything like this out? Got to move. Well, more to come on that putter because I will be doing a full review on it. So, but thank you to Odyssey straight away for giving me the putter to test and put a little review together on it. Let's see if we can hook this around these trees. Keep turning, keep turning. Yeah, not bad. Well, what an amazing week I've had. I've been up to London this week. I was invited up by Under Armour because Under Armour are going to be doing a new release of some products coming out in 2026, and they're doing their like sales meetings. So they go up to the Stoke Park area, and we get to see some of the product that's going to be made available in 2026. So their release is obviously of all their new apparel and all their new shoe range for 2026. Now, I got a glimpse of this when I went to the PGA show. I had the day with Under Armour and Foremost, and we talked about what was going to be released for 2026 and the planning ahead of that. And it's always quite nice to get to see behind the curtain. Well, on the back of that, I got invited to this sales meeting, which is basically all the reps from Europe and the UK all get together. So there was 50 of us in total that all got together for 2 days to go through the product that they're going to be, let's say, taking on the road, and then getting to experience it at Stoke Park, going through testing of it, fitting into the right pair of shoes, trying on the right apparel that's going to fit that individual, and then ultimately those sales guys will take it to the pro shops, and they get basically an hour to spend with a pro to decide on what their shop is going to look like for 2026. And I've got to say, when I walked away from that meeting, because I get to see the reps coming into me as a pro, I don't get to see what the reps have to go through before they get into their meetings with me as a pro, before we decide what we're going to buy for 2026, let's say. So to see a rep or the reps go through the product, but also see how they get inspired by the products, ask questions about the products that they may get asked questions about themselves from pros like myself, was, well, by the time I'd finished that couple of days with Under Armour, I've got to say I was hugely inspired, because you see the effort and the time and the detail that goes into creating these products that we put out onto our pro shops, and you don't really get it when it arrives in a box. You either like it or you don't really like it, and you either think it's going to sell or you don't think it's going to sell. But it's what goes on behind the scenes that allows us to be able to, well, I suppose, get inspired by it, and then for you guys to want to actually purchase it. But ultimately what Under Armour have to do is they have to create these stories. They have to create something that is slightly different to what everybody else is creating. And to see what I got to see was an eye-opener, and I'm extremely thankful to Under Armour for allowing me to be able to see that, because not a lot of brands allow that, but Under Armour wanted to bring me into the fold, get me to meet all these different people, but also get to see what I'm going to be using in 2026. Steady. Oh, the ground is getting bouncy at the moment. Brother v brother match. Did you have a chance to watch the episode 2 at Stover? Get in. Oh, flag kept out. Yes, episode 2, brother v brother. If you haven't watched it, then just pause this video or skip on a little bit, because we're going to talk about it in just a minute. 2 shots is what I said. Joe, who's been helping out on the channel a little bit recently, helping out with some social media stuff, and he also, I want to kind of train him up a little bit and see if he's interested in getting involved from an editing and filming point of view. But Joe is asked me a question on the way to filming that video at Stover, and said, what's the kind of difference, let's say, between maybe you and your brother? And I said to him, it's 2 shots, I think. I think Paul's always got around 2 shots on me. So if you said, what's your handicap? And let's say I'm a scratch or a 2 handicap golfer, Paul would always be 2 shots better than me. And that's probably, well, probably where we were all the way through our amateur days as well, to be fair. And then for him to finish at 2 shots better than me at the end of that round, and 2 shots better than me when we played our first round at Bovey Castle, I think that's pretty much where we're at. But it just gives me a bit more of an insight into some of the things that I need to work on. And I've got an interesting series that I'm going to hopefully bring to you in June. I'm just making sure I can clear my calendar to make sure I can actually get this done, because there's a lot of work coming in that I need to kind of focus on and do. So, but I don't want it to interrupt my series that I want to put together for you for the 30 days. But anyway, we'll come on to that maybe in another show. But there are certainly some things that I can think about to work on when it comes to my game, that hopefully, if I can just shave off a few shots, stupid shots that I tend to get away get away from me on the golf course, then I reckon I can shave off those 2 shots pretty quickly. But what that means is the end result of this matchup when it comes to brother v brother for 2025, I reckon, down in the comments, I'd like to hear your thoughts, but I reckon I might be able to beat Paul twice. That's my goal. If I can get twice, 2 times or more, then I think if I can get 3 times on him, so I can beat him 3 times in this series, then I think I've done well based on that. Oh, firm again. That way. It's got to go that way. You know what I love the most about flicking my way around Cayman is that it gets your imagination going. You've got loft, you've got, well, I've got 4 wedges out with me today, but you've got loft in your hands and you're trying to manage that loft. So you're going to see me kind of play a few different shots where I'm almost keeping the handle down, or I'm trying to take loft off, or I'm trying to add loft as I'm coming into shots. I just think that's another skill set that I think so many of you should try and learn, because whatever the club is showing you or delivering for you, you can manipulate that, and having that manipulation skill is definitely something that I know it's going to improve so many golfers' games, because it gives you that feel, it gives you that feedback from every shot or reaction that you put into a shot. I think it's just definitely something you should consider messing about with when you're playing all these different shots into greens. And this week is PGA Championship week, the major championship that people probably put as number 4. I would say that I've not met one person that puts the PGA Championship as their number 1 or 2 kind of majors of the year. But what I really like, look how quick that is. What I really like about the PGA Championship is the fact that 20 PGA members, okay, albeit PGA members of America PGA, have got the opportunity to compete and play in a major. And just for those that don't know, the PGA of America is a very different body than the PGA Tour. And what is interesting, and this is why you see maybe some of the older pros not really too vocal when it comes to the split between, let's say, PGA Tour and LIV, because the PGA of America used to basically run the PGA Tour. They would have all the tournaments that the PGA kind of Tour have, but the PGA Tour was a breakaway tour from the PGA of America. But when it comes to the PGA Championship, which is run by the PGA of America, not run by the PGA Tour, they held spots available for their PGA members. So 20 players, the top 20 players from the PGA Championships, would go on to represent the PGA of America at the PGA Championships, which is the major. And when I went to caddy for my brother Paul in the PGA Cup, which was over in America, and it gets played once every 2 years, just like the Ryder Cup, and is run by the same people that run the Ryder Cup, PGA of America versus the PGA of the UK, let's say, all the players that played in the PGA of America Cup team, they'd all played in majors, whereas all the players that were playing in the PGA Cup team over here, I don't think one of them, maybe one player had played in the Open, but not many of them had played in majors. And it was, I would say, quite noticeable, because it's a level of experience that I think, go. Another tree. These trees are massive. I think that a lot of these players should have the opportunity to play. For example, the PGA Championship for us, which is the Wentworth tournament, that was something that spots were made available. So if anything, that's kind of like our major, shall we call it? Certainly for the European Tour, because it's the flagship event for the European Tour, DP World Tour. But there was a number of players back in the day, like 20 or plus, that would be allowed to play in that championship. Whereas now, I think it's maybe 1 or 2 spots available for that particular event, which is such a shame. And one of which I think, well, one of which I'm disappointed at the PGA, the UK PGA about, because that event should be made available for PGA pros to be able to compete and qualify for. But I'd like to hear down in the comments, what do you think? Do you think PGA pros like my brother should have the opportunity to play in more of those events. Certainly the one at Wentworth anyway. And on another note, when it comes to the PGA Championships, we got a couple of debuts for a couple of people that are of interest to me personally. Had the opportunity to watch for a couple of rounds at Alcanada Marco Penge. Now Marco Penge went on to win the race to Alcanada, the Challenge Tour finals at Alcanada when I was over there watching last time I was there. Wow, what a talent. Hits the ball an absolute mile, like another game, completely another game. But anyway, he went on to win his first DP World Tour event, which was amazing to see that. And hopefully that will elevate him, and has certainly got him in for his first time at the PGA Championships over in America. But also Rasmus Nergaard Pedersen, the guy that I did an interview with, the Under Armour ambassador, he's got his first run in this year's major, so it'd be interesting to see how he ends up over the weekend, or whether he gets the weekend. It'd be great if he can and get some experience under his belt. But don't be surprised to see those guys do well in the PGA Championships, because they hit the ball miles, they're talented individuals. It's whether they can keep their nerves under control. So a couple of other things from me is I've got a break pass series coming out, which hopefully I will get edited in time before I go away next week. I've got me trying to beat my, or even match to be fair, my score of 65 around Churston when I was 16 years old. Am I any better now than when I was 16? So I've played that, done that, edited it, just got to put in the last sort of finishing touches on that video, so hopefully that will be out with you on Tuesday. But myself, Bernie, are heading to, we're going off to France again. A couple of days, but we're heading up to Dover. So we could drive all the way to Dover, get across to Calais, and then I think we're playing 3 courses in and around the Calais area. This is helped out by Graham Ruth, but also with P&O Ferries and Eurocamp. So we're going to be staying on a Eurocamp and then doing as much filming as we can over there. So some exciting stuff coming up, and hopefully we'll get some great content from there that we'll bring to you. And then one other note that I need to mention to you is the Dan Hendriksen Golf Society. We've got one event that's coming up at Sherborne. It'll be on the ticker bar here now. It's an event that's being put together by the community, by you guys, and it's a match. It's one society challenging the Dan Hendriksen Golf Society. So it's going to be played at Sherborne. If you want to get involved in that, obviously information along the ticker bar, but head over to the website and you can check it out for yourself. Well, there you go. Hope you've enjoyed the Sunday morning show. Hope you've enjoyed this week's run around with me and my brother on the channel, brother v brother. The verdict is still out with this putter, even though I am enjoying it. It's so easy to line up. However, I will see you again on next week's Sunday morning show. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. But as it is a beautiful day, I'm going to get myself an ice cream. Lovely. Salted caramel Magnum.